Now she should probably be trying to get out. Madison, she's having fun, living that old-time radio life. Our explanation is done.
Madison is on the air.
Madison on the Air presents the beloved holiday classic, Frank Capra's It's a Wonderful Life. Welcome, everyone. This is the story of George Bailey, citizen of Bedford Falls, New York. Oddly enough, this story does not begin in Bedford Falls. In fact, it doesn't begin anywhere in the world. It begins in heaven, where Joseph, the superintendent of angels, has just summoned an apprentice angel named Madison Standish.
Hi, Joe. Sup?
Again, my name is Joseph.
Sorry. I didn't realize heaven was so formal. Like if there was any place you could just walk around in your pajamas and socks all day, it should be heaven.
Well, that explains your attire.
Did you want something? Because I was hanging out with the celebrities who died, but weren't popular enough to get memes made for them.
That is going to have to wait. There is a very discouraged man on Earth, Madison.
Could you narrow it down a bit?
George Bailey. At exactly 10:45 p.m. Earth time...
What is Earth time? There are literally 24 time zones on Earth.
It's no wonder you've never gotten your wings.
Hang on a sec. Morgan Spurlock is trying to reach me. Yellow. I know, Morgan, I know. But Super Size Me was 20 years ago. You didn't expect anyone to remember you when you died, did you?
Madison!
Sorry, gotta go. Save some fries for me. Okay, what?
He'll be thinking seriously of ending his life.
Who?
George Bailey.
So what, we stepping in on this one?
Yes, I want you to stop him.
Ooh, he a big deal or something?
No, just a man who is struggling.
You guys get involved in all potential suicides?
Well,
Did you try and stop Robin Williams? Because earthly treasure right there.
that wasn't my department. I only handle upstate New York. May I please continue?
You're awfully cranky for an angel.
Just sit down so I can give you Bailey's case history. And if you do well on this, you'll move up from Angel Second Class, and you may even earn your wings.
I'm not really about status, but wings would kick ass. Little embarrassing hanging out with angels, and they're like, hey, let's fly over to the club. And I'm all, ugh, I gotta walk.
Now listen, when George Bailey was a boy, 2 events occurred that you should keep in mind. One was when his younger brother Harry fell through the ice and almost drowned. George saved him.
I fell through a hot tub cover and almost drowned.
You did?
Well, not almost drowned, but I did almost spill my margarita.
Well, ever since then, George has had a bad ear. All that icy water, you understand?
I broke my pinky toe. Couldn't wear sandals for a month.
The other event came a few months later. George used to work after school in Mr. Gower's drugstore. One day, Mr. Gower's only son died of influenza.
But the dude owned a drugstore. He didn't give his kid the flu vaccine?
This story starts in the 1920s. Could you just let me get through it without interrupting?
Cranky.
The loss of his son was a terrible blow, and poor Mr. Gower tried to lose his grief in whiskey.
Sounds reasonable.
But when intoxicated, humans can make dire mistakes.
Truth. There was this one time when...
We're not talking about you, Madison. We're jumping to a flashback scene.
It's an interesting story, though. Somehow, I can't remember how, I was driving a city bus.
Where you been, George? Mrs. Blaine's called twice. What happened to her prescription? You lost it, didn't you?
No, Mr. Gower. Here it is.
You good for nothing. Don't you know the Blaine girl's very sick? I'll teach you to love, you lazy brat.
Mr. Gower, my ear. You're hurting my sore ear. Oh, Mr. Gower, you don't know what you're doing. You put something wrong in those capsules. I know you feel bad, but look, Mr. Gower, this bottle you used to make up the capsules, it's poison, I tell you. Poison.
Poison? Poison! Oh, George!
Don't hurt my sore ear again, Mr. Gower.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, thank you, George. Thank you.
Well, Madison, that was George Bailey as a boy.
What happened to Mr. Gower? Was he arrested?
No, because of George, Mr. Gower didn't give the little girl poison.
No, I mean for Gower having child labor and beating him. The kid's ear was bleeding.
It It was a different time. Now, when George grew up, he wanted to go to college, but there just wasn't the money. So he worked for 4 years in the Building and Loan Association.
In what capacity?
What do you mean?
He didn't have a college degree, but they were willing to hire him at a loan company? What did he do? Answer phones? Lunch runs?
Well, no. He assisted with the bookkeeping and accounts.
With no training whatsoever?
Oh, I forgot to tell you. George's father had started this building and loan business. He and George's uncle, Billy.
Ah, Nepo baby.
In any case, George worked for his father and saved enough to travel through Europe and then go to university.
Damn! How much they paying him at that loan place?
Look, that's not the point. Before he left, he attended his younger brother Harry's school dance.
He's what, 22, going to a high school dance?
Yes?
And you're okay with that?
Yes.
You've obviously never been a teenage girl hit on by a guy in his 20s.
This dance was a very important event in George's life.
Why? What happened?
It's where he fell in love with Mary Hatch.
I'm sorry. Are you saying that this is where the 22-year-old man fell in love with a teenage girl?
It was a different time. Anyway, he was walking home with her after the dance.
Why is he in an oversized football uniform? And she's in a, what is that, a robe? What kind of dance was this?
Oh, that. There was a whole thing with a pool under the dance floor. It's really a sight gag, so I was going to skip over it.
Pool under the... Okay.
They were walking down Sycamore Street.
Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? Can't you come out tonight? Can't you come out tonight? Buffalo gals, can't you come out tonight? And dance by the light of the moon. Hot dog. You know something, Mary? If it wasn't me talking, I'd say you were the prettiest girl in town.
Well, why don't you say it?
I don't know. Maybe I will. How old are you, anyway?
18.
18?
Too young or too old?
Oh, no. Just right.
Gross.
They're only 4 years apart.
Hey, look where we are.
The old Granville house.
Yeah, I gotta throw a rock.
Oh, no, don't. I love that old house.
Don't you know about deserted houses? You make a wish and then throw a rock.
But it's such a lovely old place. I wish I lived there.
There? I wouldn't live in it as a ghost. Now, watch this. Here we go. Pretty good shot, huh? Broke a window.
What'd you wish for, George?
Not just one wish, a whole hatful. Mary, I'm shaking the dust of this crummy little town, and I'm going to see the world. Italy, Greece, the Parthenon, the Colosseum. And then I'm coming back here and go to college, and then I'm going to build things. I'm going to build airfields, skyscrapers, 100 stories high.
Sounds like
and
somebody
bridges a
spiked the
mile
punch at the
long.
dance.
And then I'm going to... Hey, Mary. Mary, what is it you want? You want the moon? Just say the word, and I'll lasso it for you.
The moon? I'll take it.
Why don't you kiss her instead of talking her to death?
How's that?
Youth is wasted on the wrong people.
What are you doing? Watching kids make out, you dirty old man?
They can't hear you.
George! George!
Uncle Billy, what is it?
Get in the car, quick! Your father's had a stroke.
Well, George's father died that night.
Dude, most epic cockblock ever.
So, of course, George couldn't go to Europe. But that fall, just as he was ready to leave for college, the directors of the building and loan had a meeting. They were going to appoint a successor to George's father. But instead, Mr. Potter proposed to dissolve the Bailey Building and Loan.
Who's Mr. Potter?
Oh, yes. I haven't told you about him yet.
Peter Bailey was not a businessman. Ideals without common sense can ruin a town. What do we get? A discontented, lazy rabble instead of a thrifty working class.
Ah, bad guy. Got it.
No, wait a minute there. Why my father ever started this cheap penny-ante building and loan, I'll never know. But just remember this, Mr. Potter. This rabble you're talking about, they do most of the working and paying and living and dying in this community. Well, is it too much to have them work and pay and live and die in a couple of decent rooms and a bath? Anyway, my father didn't think so. People were human beings to him. But to you, a warped, frustrated old man, they're cattle. Well, in my book, he died a much richer man than you'll ever be.
I'm not interested in your book. I'm talking about the building and loan.
You're talking about something you can't get your fingers on, and it's galling you. That's what you're talking about. Well, this town needs this measly one-horse institution. If only to have some place where people could borrow dollars without crawling to you.
Go, George! Then what happened?
The board of directors said they would only vote to keep the building and loan open if George agreed to take over from his father.
He's going to run an entire financial institution without any formal education, only learning the business from his father, who is a well-known poor businessman?
Yes.
That's how you succeed in America. Your parents hand you a business.
George stayed in Bedford Falls, giving his college money to Harry with the understanding that Harry would take over when he graduated.
Finally, someone with credentials.
Except when Harry came home, he wasn't alone. There was a girl with him, his new wife.
Yay for him.
And her father offered Harry a very good job at his company.
There it is again. The only way you get a leg up.
This meant George couldn't go to college and had to stay at the building and loan.
Did he at least marry the teenage girl?
Well, why don't you see for yourself?
Have you made up your mind?
How's that?
I said, have you made up your mind?
About what?
About coming in. Your mother just phoned. She said you were coming over.
My mother. Oh, I just happened to be passing by, that's all.
Well?
Well, all right. I'll come in for a minute. Still can't understand it. I didn't tell anybody I was coming here.
Would you rather leave?
No, I don't want to be rude. I'll sit down for a while.
Prince Charming. I can see why she likes him.
Oh, he's in a bad mood. He just found out he can't go to college.
Yeah.
So the beginning of their relationship is him taking out his frustrations on her? There's some solid bedrock for a marriage.
Mary, who's down there with you?
It's George Bailey, Mother.
George Bailey? What does he want?
I don't know. What do you want?
Me? Not a thing. I just came in to get warm.
He's making violent love to me, Mother.
He's doing what?
You just tell him to go right back home.
And that's all her mom has to say? Tell him to go home?
It was a
different time. Got it.
Okay, well, you're not going to like the rest of this scene.
Why? What happens?
Mary's boyfriend, Sam Wainwright, calls.
Wait, she's got a boyfriend?
Technically, yes, but she only really has eyes for George.
I don't know why I came here in the first place.
Oh, why don't you go home?
I will. Good night.
Mary, answer the phone. It's Sam.
Hello?
I forgot my hat.
Hee-haw. Hello, Sam. How are you?
Sam Wainwright, huh?
Sam, I was just talking to an old friend of yours, George Bailey. Yep, old mossback George.
OMG, now she's trying to make George jealous by leading Sam on? Are we really supposed to be rooting for these people?
It's actually considered a very sweet love scene.
He's physically grabbing and shaking her!
Now, you listen to me. I don't want any plastics, and I don't want any ground floors, and I don't want to get married, ever, to anyone. You understand that? I want to do what I want to do. And you're... Oh, Mary.
Oh, George.
Can we please move on from this toxicity?
Well, the next scene is their wedding day.
Then can we just skip ahead to when he wants to kill himself?
I still have to cover what led him to that decision.
Does it have to do with domestic abuse?
No. Oh, but you'll like this. Their wedding day ended up being on the same day as the financial panic of 1932.
I'm listening.
George and Mary had just left their wedding reception and were off to begin their honeymoon. They were being driven to the train station by George's good friend Ernie Bishop, the cab driver.
Hey, where are you two going on this here honeymoon?
We're going to shoot the works, Ernie. A whole week in New York. A whole week in Bermuda. The highest hotels. The oldest champagne. The hottest music. And the prettiest wife.
Hot dog. Then what?
Then what, honey?
After that, who cares?
Hey, George. There's something funny going on. Look over there at the bank. It looks like a run.
Pull over there a minute, will you, Ernie?
George, let's not stop. Please, let's go straight to the station.
I better see what it is. I'll be right back, Mary.
Okay, so financial collapse led him to want to kill himself? This where I step in?
Now you sit down, Madison. We're nowhere near the point where George Bailey is thinking of taking his life.
Seriously?
In the waiting room of the Bailey Building and Loan, frantic people were clamoring for their savings.
Uncle Billy? What's happened?
Oh, this is a pickle, George. A real pickle. All I know is the bank called our loan an hour ago. I had to hand over all our cash.
Holy mackerel.
The whole town's gone crazy. The bank's in the same spot we are.
Our charter says we have to stay open till 6 p.m. The state could take away our license if we don't.
How can we stay open until 6 without any money? George, where are you going?
To talk to these people. Now listen, folks. Just a minute, please.
George, you need help with this crowd?
No, Bert, no. No police.
How about our money, George? Where's our money?
Ed, listen to me. Now, you're thinking of this place all wrong. Your money's not here. Your money's in people's houses. In the Kennedy house, and the McLaren house, and in your house, and 100 others. Now, what are you going to do? Foreclose on them?
Madison, you're not paying attention.
I'm sorry, but I'm being lulled to sleep by this absolutely boring banking stuff.
Well, I guess audiences of the 1940s would have had first-hand understanding of the significance of the 1932 financial panic and recognized the gallant effort George took to keep the building and loan from closing.
So I need a 20th century history class to understand this part of the story?
All right, we can skip ahead. Let me sum it up. Basically, Mary offers their honeymoon money to keep everyone from selling their shares to Potter, who took over the bank and would, in turn, have a controlling interest in the building and loan, and essentially own all of Bedford Falls.
I'm asleep again.
They saved the building and loan.
So, another happy ending for George.
Well, he didn't get to travel again.
George, there's a call for you.
Okay, Tilly. And then call my wife, will you? She's probably over at Mother's.
Mrs. Bailey's on the line.
No, I don't want Mrs. Bailey. I want my wife. Mrs. Bailey. Oh, that's my wife. Give me the phone, will you? Hey, Mary? Listen, I'm sorry. Come home? Is what home? 323 Sycamore. Well, whose home is that?
Ah, his wedding night. Another happy ending for George.
All right, let's just move on.
Buffalo gals, can't you come out tonight? Can't you come out tonight? Can't you come out tonight?
Time passed, and George settled into married life and working at the building and loan. Eventually, his dreams of leaving Bedford Falls were pushed aside and replaced by his day-to-day responsibilities.
We're really hanging this guy's whole sob story on boo-hoo, his childhood dreams didn't come true. Because, dude, get in line.
I'm just pointing this out because one day he was called in for a meeting with Mr. Potter that could change his entire life.
Sit down, George. Sit down.
Thank you, sir.
Now, George, you're a young man. Married, making, say, $40 a week at the building and loan?
45.
45?
45. Now, if you were an ordinary yokel, I'd say you were doing fine. But George Bailey is no ordinary yokel. He's intelligent, ambitious, and he hates the building and loan almost as much as I do. He's been dying to get out of town ever since he was born, but he's trapped into frittering his life away playing nursemaid to a lot of garlic eaters. Do I paint a correct picture, George?
You paint a racist picture of Italians.
Well, what's your point, Mr. Potter?
My point is that I want to hire you. Manage my affairs. I'll start you off at $20,000.
$20,000 a year?
That's not that great.
Well, considering the $45 a week equals less than $3,000 a year.
Oh, wow. So he takes the job, then feels hollow with his success and wants to kill himself?
No. Let them finish the scene.
What about the building and loan?
Confound it, man. I'm offering you a 3-year contract at $20,000 a year. Is it a deal or isn't it?
No, the answer's no. Doggone it. You sit around here and you spin your little webs and think the whole world revolves around you and your money. Well, it doesn't, Mr. Potter. The whole vast configuration of things, I'd say you're nothing more than a scurvy little spider.
Yeesh. Burn that bridge on the way out of town, George.
But that night wasn't over yet.
Oh, Mary Hatch. Why in the world did you marry a guy like me, anyway?
To keep from being an old maid.
Oh, there's a good reason.
You could have married Sam Wainwright or anybody else in town.
I didn't want to marry anybody else in town. I want my baby to look like you.
Well, you didn't even have a honeymoon. and I promised you that. You're what?
My baby.
Mary, you mean you're on the nest?
George Bailey Lasso Stork.
Is it a boy or girl?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now he's definitely trapped. Is this when he wanted to?
No!
I really hope all of this backstory is necessary. It's like the whole movie is the prequel.
Well, Mary had her baby, a boy. Then she had another one, a girl, followed by another boy. Then came the war. Mary had another baby by then.
Fertile, ain't she?
But Mary still found time to help out with the USO. Uncle Billy sold war bonds, and George's brother Harry became a real hero, shooting down 15 enemy planes.
And George finally got to travel when he enlisted?
George was 4F on account of his ear.
He was part of a youth organization?
That's 4H. 4F means he wasn't fit for military duty.
I thought that was weird. Like, he can't go to war because he has a pig in the county fair?
As I was saying, night after night, George had come home late from the office. Things weren't good with the Bailey building alone. Potter was really bearing down on him.
Sucks.
Now, Madison, you know almost everything you have to know about George Bailey, except what happened that finds him down there, at this very moment, wanting to die.
Wait, this moment? You've been yammering on this whole time while he's literally on the verge of doing it?
Time is irrelevant in heaven.
I hope that means you hit a pause button.
There are a few more events I have to cover. Today is the day before Christmas, and George is pretty excited.
He still believes in Santa?
What? No.
I mean, his childhood was robbed from him having to take a job at Gower's drugstore.
Shush.
Hey, Telly, look at the newspaper. Commander Harry Bailey, decorated by the president. That's my kid brother, the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Oh, that's wonderful, George.
Shot down an enemy plane just as it was about to dive into a transport loaded with soldiers. You know what that means? You saved hundreds of lives. Say, who's that in Uncle Billy's office?
It's that man again, the bank examiner.
Well, where's Uncle Billy?
Gone to the bank to make our monthly deposit.
Well, Mr. Potter, come to the bank to deposit some more loot?
Out of my way, you old fool.
How'd you like the news in the paper, Mr. Potter? Just can't keep those Bailey boys down now, can you?
I've been busy. I haven't read the paper.
Oh, well, here, have mine. I bought 5. Have a nice day now, Mr. Potter.
Well, hello there, Mr. Bailey, and Merry Christmas. What can I do for you today?
Hey there, Horace. How are you? It's a deposit slip, a bank book, and a very Merry Christmas to you.
Say, you've forgotten something, haven't you?
How's that?
You want to make a deposit?
Oh, sure.
Well, it's customary to bring the money with you.
Oh, yes. It's right here in my pocket. It just, maybe it's in this pocket, or,
OMG! He lost the money?
Yes. Uncle Billy couldn't find the money because the envelope with the $8,000 deposit was folded up in that newspaper he gave to Old Man Potter, and he didn't realize it.
Oh, damn. And Potter's not giving that back. Like, I imagine Elon Musk seeing a kid at an ice cream truck drop $1, and he just grabs it and runs off. No rocket pop for you, Jimmy.
George was very upset when he learned that the money was missing.
$8,000! Uncle Billy! The bank examiner's here and it's not our money! It belongs to the depositors! Listen to me. Think, will you?
I don't know. I retraced every step I took.
Where's that money, you silly old fool? You know what this means? It means bankruptcy and scandal. Prison! One of us is going to jail. Well, it's not going to be me. Now get out of my way. I'm going home.
Oh, good. He's gonna go home and take out his anger on his wife and children.
Well...
That is what he's gonna do, isn't he? Remind me again why I gotta save this guy's life?
There you are, George.
What's with that banging on the piano? Does she have to keep playing the same song over and over again?
I have to practice for the Christmas party, Daddy.
What is it, dear? Another hectic day?
Yeah, another red-letter day for the Baileys.
Dad, the Murphy's got a brand new car. You should see it.
What's the matter with our car? Isn't it good enough for you?
I'm sorry, Dad. I only...
Run upstairs, Petey, and see if Zuzu's all right.
Okay, Mom.
What do you mean, see if Zuzu's all right?
Oh, she caught a little cold coming home from school. She didn't button up her coat, but the doctor says
The doctor was here.
Well, I thought he better look at her.
It's a drafty old house. It's no wonder we don't all have pneumonia. Might as well be living in a refrigerator. Why do we have to live here in the first place and stay around this measly, crummy old town?
Daddy, how do you spell frankincense?
I don't know how to spell it, Tommy. Why do we have to have all these kids?
Where are you going?
Upstairs to see Zuzu.
A dysfunctional middle-class family at Christmas. This could be anywhere in America.
George lashing out at his family demonstrates his desperate and hopeless mental state.
No, it doesn't. It's clearly part of a pattern of bad behavior. When things haven't gone his way, he's lashed out at Mary, Mr. Potter, Uncle Billy.
Look, Daddy, I won a flower at school today.
That's, a very nice flower, Zuzu.
Oh no, some petals fell off. Daddy, paste it.
All right, I'll just paste it here. There it is. Good as new.
See? He's very sweet to Zuzu.
He just hid the petals in his pocket and lied to her that he fixed it. Deception of a child is sweet to you?
Hello? Oh, thank you, Mrs. Welsh. I'm sure she'll be all right.
Who's that?
Zuzu's school teacher.
Give me that phone. Mrs. Welsh, this is Mr. Bailey. Say, what kind of teacher are you anyway? What do you mean sending Zuzu home like that, half naked? You realize you'll probably end up with pneumonia because of your stupidity? You know, maybe my kids aren't the best dressed kids in town, but at least... Hello? Hello? Janie, will you please stop playing that lousy piano? Now cut it out. Stop it.
Oh, Daddy. And now he just scarred his other daughter for life.
George, why do you have to torture the children?
I'm sorry, Mary. Janie, I'm sorry. Petey, Tommy, I owe you an apology, too. I've just got to get out of here.
George was so desperate to replace the $8,000, he even went to Mr. Potter for help.
Oof, nothing worse than begging a favor from someone you totally dumped on. But parents are supposed to help you, right?
What kind of security would I have, George? What collateral?
Well, sir, I have some life insurance here. A $15,000 policy.
Oh, and what's your equity in it?
$500.
And you want $8,000? You once called me a warped, frustrated old man. Well, what are you but a warped, frustrated young man? Crawling on your hands and knees for help. Why don't you go to the riffraff you love so well? Ask them for help.
Please, sir. My family.
You know something, George? You're worth more dead than you are alive.
And all that time, Potter had the $8,000 in his desk drawer.
Well, it's consistent with his character.
After that, George went over to Martini's bar and had a couple of drinks.
Angry, drunk father on Christmas Eve. Anyone dreaming of a white trash Christmas?
Dear Father in heaven, I'm not a praying man, but if you're up there and you can hear me, show me the way. I'm at the end of my rope.
Don't drink anymore, Mr. Bailey, please. You don't feel so good.
Bailey? You say Bailey? Which Bailey?
This is Mr. George Bailey.
George Bailey, huh? And the next time you talk to my wife like that, you get worse. It isn't enough she slaves teaching you stupid kids how to read and write. You gotta ball her out.
He's not wrong.
Nick, get him out of here.
Right you are, Martini. Come on, you.
All right, I'm going.
Mr. Bailey, you okay?
Who's that?
Mr. Welch. But don't worry, he don't come in this place no more. I get something for your face. Your mouth is bleeding.
No, I'm all right.
Don't go, Mr. Bailey.
Well, George left Martini's bar 5 minutes ago. He's at the river now, on the bridge, looking at the cold, rushing water. Are you ready, Madison?
Oh, I'm on?
Save George Bailey's life, and you'll get your wings.
So angels aren't altruistic? Even they need a promise of reward in order to do a good deed?
I'm giving your character stakes. Just get down there.
Damn it, his bad ear. He can't hear me.
Madison, jump in the water.
What?
Jump in the water. George will jump in after you to save you.
Based on his known behavioral patterns, I find that hard to believe.
You're already dead. What's it going to cost you?
Why don't you come down here and jump in the icy river?
I have my wings.
Maybe I don't want a promotion that badly.
Just do it.
This is what happens to you when you go to heaven. Hell must be seriously dismal. All right, here goes. Help, help! I am drowning! F, this water is cold!
Hang on there! You both sure you're all right?
Dude, appreciate you letting us warm up in your shack. Sucks to work Christmas Eve, huh?
How'd you, manage to fall in?
I didn't fall in. I jumped in to save him.
Jumped in to save me?
Well, I did, didn't I? You didn't go through with it, did you?
Go through with what?
Suicide?
Hey, it's against the law to commit suicide around here.
Yeah, I've always wondered how that works. Do they arrest the corpse?
Oh, that's very funny.
Your lip's bleeding.
Yeah, I got a bust in the jaw in answer to a prayer.
Actually, no. George, I'm the answer to your prayer. Ta-da!
How'd you know my name?
Oh my God, I had to sit through like 30-something pages of your life story.
Who are you supposed to be, anyway?
Madison Standish, AS2.
AS2? What's that AS2 for?
Angel second class.
Hey, I gotta do my rounds, so if you'll both excuse me.
I should probably get going too. I saved your life, so we're good here, right?
Sure. Angel, you gonna fly away? Where's your wings?
Damn it, you're right. I still don't have them. Ugh, I probably have to solve your other problems too.
Are you gonna solve my problems? Why's that?
Because I'm your guardian angel. Duh.
Oh, I see. Well, you don't happen to have $8,000 on you, do you?
No. We don't use money in heaven. Strictly Apple Pay.
Money comes in pretty handy down here. Of course, I found it out a little late. You know, I'm worth more dead than alive.
Oh, don't diminish your self-worth like that.
If it hadn't been for me, everybody'd be better off. My wife, my kids, my friends.
Actually, from what I've seen of your life, there is some truth in that.
They'd all have been better off if I'd never been born.
Come again?
I said I'd wish I'd never been born.
There's that quick-to-anger thing. Oh, but dude! Idea! Boom! You got your wish. You've never been born.
I've never been born?
Totes! No worries, no $8,000 to get, nothing. You simply don't exist.
Hey, wait a minute. This ear of mine. Say something else than that bad ear.
You're not George Bailey. No bad ear. And your lips stop bleeding.
Say, what's happening around here? What is this, anyway? I need a drink. That's what I need. What about you, Angel? You want a drink?
Don't have to ask me twice. As you can imagine, the alcohol selection in heaven is pretty limited. Like, who wants to get drunk on schnapps? I mean, I still do, but it's weird getting wasted on peppermint.
What do you have?
Hey, Nick, where's Martini?
You want a martini?
No, your boss, Martini.
The guy who owns the bar is named Martini? Little on the nose, don't you think?
Look, wise guy, I'm the boss, see?
Okay, we'll both have a double scotch.
All right then, 2 double scotches.
This place, it's all changed.
I like it. This is how you spend a Christmas Eve. Oh, nice! Somebody just made it.
Made what?
Okay, so every time a bell rings, an angel gets their wings. That's why churches have steeple bells. Guarantees a ton of angels get their wings. Bet you didn't know that.
Hey, you! Rummy! Didn't I tell you never to come panhandling around here?
Hey, it's Mr. Gower. Mr. Gower!
Yeah, you buy me a drink, mister?
Don't you know me? It's George Bailey.
All right, Rummy, you're out of here.
Wait, no, that's Mr. Gower, the druggist.
That rumhead spent 20 years in jail for poisoning some kid. If you know him, you must be a jailbird yourself.
No, Nick.
That's another thing. Where do you get off calling me Nick?
Well, Nick?
That's it. Out the door or through the window.
Wait, no!
You can't do this to me! I know every big shot in town! I know
jumping into icy water, now being thrown into a snowdrift. Next time you have a personal crisis, could you do it in July?
I don't understand. What was Nick saying about Mr. Gower?
You weren't there to stop him from putting poison in that prescription. Of course, it was the 1920s, and opium was still being used for medicinal purposes.
What do you mean I wasn't there? Look, what are you, a hypnotist? Why am I seeing all these strange things?
Because you were never born. OMG, how many times do I gotta say it?
Then if I wasn't born, who am I?
Nobody. No identity. No papers, no cards, no driver's license, no 4-H card, no insurance policy, and no Zuzu's pedals.
You know about Zuzu's pedals?
Look, dude, you've been given a great gift. A chance to see what the world would be like without you.
You're crazy.
I fulfilled your wish. Although, your lifelong wish has been to travel. I bet I could have fixed all of this with a 4-night stay in Florida.
You're crazy, and you're driving me crazy, too. Now look, I'm gonna go home to my wife and family. Do you understand that?
Better not leave him alone, Madison. Keep following him.
Now he's seeing Main Street the way it would be if he hadn't lived. Ha! Bedford Falls is called Pottersville. I'm not surprised. It's like Trump emblazoning his name on every building he owns. Pawn shops. Oh, the Bailey Building alone is a dance hall now. Look at all those dance halls. Yeah. You're right, Joseph. I should probably stick by him.
Well, hurry. He's talking to Ernie the cab driver, and Ernie has no idea who George is.
Dime a dance. You think they take Apple Pay?
Come on, step on it, Ernie. Get me home. I'm off my nut.
Where do you live, buddy?
Oh, doggone it, Ernie. Don't you start pulling that stuff on me. 323 Sycamore.
323 Sycamore?
And hurry up, Zuzu's sick.
Okay, buddy.
Hey, look, Ernie, I don't know what's happening. I'm going crazy or something. Tell me this. You're Ernie Bishop, right? And you live with your wife and kid down in...
You seen my wife?
Seen your wife? Well, I've been to your house 100 times.
Look, bud, my wife took the kid and ran away 5 years ago, and I ain't seen you before in my life. See?
Okay, Ernie, okay. Just step on it. Get me home.
Cabby, wait! Damn it, I missed them.
Hey, pretty lady, that's a nice dress.
Oh, this old thing? Why, I only wear it when I don't care how I look.
Madison.
Gotta go.
Mary, where are you? Janie, Petey, Tommy, Zuzu!
This is just an old abandoned house, George. You have no wife, no children. And hey, without the burden of responsibilities, you want to make some travel plans?
Where are they? What have you done with them?
There you are, Bert. Crazy, just like I told you.
All right, up with your hands.
Oh, Bert! Oh, thank heavens you're here.
OMG! Bert and Ernie? Is this where...
No.
On Sesame?
No.
Jim Henson?
No! A statement released by the production company says it's purely a coincidence. Now get back in there. He's about to be arrested.
Look, buddy, why don't you be a good fella, and I'll take you to a doctor.
What's the matter with you guys? It's that blonde girl there. She says she's an angel.
I hate to use my nightstick, but... Ow!
Excessive force! Police brutality!
Ow! Stop biting me!
Run, George! Run!
Stop it now! Ernie, help me!
Joseph! Little help!
Where'd she go, Ernie? She disappeared.
She ran that way, down the street.
Oh.
I need a drink.
George! George!
My own mother didn't even know me. If only Harry were here. If my brother were back from Washington.
Brother's dead.
That's a lie. He got the Congressional Medal of Honor. He saved the lives of every man on that transport.
Nope. All dead.
That's not possible.
Sorry. Hang on. No wings. Had to run. Woo! Okay. Every man on that transport died. Harry wasn't there to save them because you weren't there to save Harry. Don't you see, George? You really had a wonderful life. Well, maybe wonderful is a little exaggerated, but your life had some highlights.
Madison, where's Mary?
You're not gonna like it.
Where is she? I'll choke it out of you if I have to.
You hear that, Joseph? He's threatening violence again.
Where is my wife?
The library, jeez. Joseph, you sure my mission isn't to get him into anger management?
Mary! Mary!
I'm sorry, the library's closed.
Mary, it's George. Don't you know me?
No, I don't know you.
Mary!
Ah, let me go!
Please don't do this to me. Please. Mary, where's our kids?
Get away from me!
I need you, Mary! Mary!
Let go of her!
Mary! Madison! Mary didn't know me!
I know! And you just assaulted a woman on the street! That angry mob is coming for you!
What do I do?
Come on! Back to the bridge!
Help me, Madison! Get me back! Get me back to my wife and kids! Please! I want to live again!
Why? Is there a dog you haven't kicked yet?
Let me live again.
Madison, he wants to live. Your mission is complete. You've earned your wings.
Then why do I feel so dirty?
I want to live again. Please.
George?
Let me live again.
Is that you, George?
No, get out of here, Bert. Get out of here. You get any closer and I'll let you have it.
What the Sam Hill you yelling for, George?
George. Bert, do you know me?
Know you? I've been looking all over town for you.
I'm alive again, Bert.
Hey, your mouth's bleeding.
It is? Hey, my mouth's bleeding, Bert. My mouth's bleeding. Zuzu's pedals in my pocket. There they are.
Get in the car, George. I'll drive you home.
So that's it. He gets another happy ending?
Merry Christmas, Bedford Falls. Merry Christmas, you old building alone. Merry Christmas, Mr. Potter.
Yes, Madison. You see, each man's life touches so many other lives.
Mary, I'm home. Where are you? Oh, hey, Mr. Bank Examiner. Merry Christmas. I'll bet you're here because there's a deficit. $8,000. And the sheriff. Well, I'll bet that's a warrant for my arrest. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Daddy.
Kids, where's your mother?
She went looking for you, Daddy, with Uncle Billy. Daddy!
Zuzu, my little ginger snap. How do you feel?
Fine, Daddy. Not a smidge of temperature.
George, darling, where have you been?
Mary, you've no idea what's happened to me.
You have no idea what's happened either. Uncle Billy, come in, everybody.
George, look, just look. Money, George. A laundry basket filled with money. Mary did it, George.
I don't understand. What money?
People heard you were in trouble. Your friends. They've collected this money for you. The $8,000.
Oh, there's Martini, Nick, Mr. Gower, Ernie, and everybody.
None of us would have had a roof over our heads if it wasn't for you, George.
I got Mary's telegraph, George. I flew in as fast as I could.
Harry!
Everybody, how about a toast?
Good idea, a toast. To my big brother, George, the richest man in town.
Hooray!
Should old acquaintance be forgot?
George, in the basket of money, look, there's a note for you.
Oh, yeah? Let me see. Dear George, remember, no man is a failure who has friends. Thanks for the wings. Now try not to be a dick to your wife. Love, Madison.
Madison?
She's I wouldn't exactly call her a friend.
Look, Daddy. Teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets their wings.
That's right, Zuzu. That's right. Atta girl, Madison.
Of kindness yet, for the sake of old Lang Syne.
While It's a Wonderful Life received 5 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture, in its original release, the film earned mixed reviews and didn't do well at the box office. leading the studios to believe that Frank Capra had lost his touch. It wasn't until the film's copyright ran out in 1974 that the now classic movie got its true recognition. Once in the public domain, the film was played excessively on small television affiliates throughout the Christmas season, and new audiences fell in love with it. Then, in 1993, a dispute arose over the film's copyright, and since that time, the rights to show the movie have been limited to Turner Broadcasting and then NBC. No matter where you view it, It's a Wonderful Life still tops all of the best movies of all time lists and remains a beloved Christmas classic. Hey everybody, it's Madison. Thank you so much for listening. 'Tis the season of giving, and it would mean so much to me if you join our Patreon. For only $5 a month, you can support the show and get access to some Madison exclusive goodies. Link in the show notes. But hey, I know money is tight, and it's hard to give to every audio drama you listen to. So really, if you could leave us 5 stars or a nice review or share us out on your favorite socials, that would help support us too. And for those of you who recently joined Blue Sky, our handle is @Madison Standish. Okay, you guys, we had a big cast for this one, so please stick around for the credits. And Merry Holidays! Go for it, announcer dude!
Madison on the Air was written and produced by Chrissy Talon Sage with music composition and audio engineering by Jeremy Sage. The role of Madison Standish was played by Chrissy Talon Sage. Scott R. McKinley appeared as George Bailey, and Kareem Cronfley appeared as Joseph. Other actors in the cast were Chelsea Greer as Mary, Jerry Kokich as Mr. Potter, Paul Arabisi as Uncle Billy, Edward October as Ernie and the Old Man, James C. Taylor as Bert and Mr. Welch, Tom O'Connor as Mr. Gower and Ed, Jeremy Sage as Nick and Petey, Jonathan Winstead as the narrator and Tommy, Marnie Warner as Zuzu, Kira Grunwald as Janie, Sharon Grunwald as Cousin Tilly, AJ Fidalgo as Horace and Harry Bailey, Julie Hoverson as Mrs. Hatch, Antonio Ferreira as Martini and Man on the Street, and Brian Cunningham as the Bridgekeeper. Special thanks to Sharon Grunwald for her piano performance of Hark the Herald Angels Sing.